the news we wish we never heard.
All right. Before you guys do that, I've got one joke, and if I could.
Oh, please.
Yes.
Do it.
Okay. Well, hey, everybody. My name's Johnny and Johnny Ranger. And here's my joke. So these two Ukrainian carpenters are building a house, and they're building away, and every once in a while you'll see a nail go flying across the room, across the floor. And build a little bit more, and they're working again. Another nail goes flying across the room. The helper's going like, "What's going on? How come you guys are throwing these nails away?" And two Ukrainian carpenters speak up, and they say, "Well, you silly kid, those nails are for the other side of the house. The head's on the wrong end."
That's a good one.
That's all I got, folks.
Okay, all right. That's great.
Come back.
Every night. Yep.
Come back and bring more. Yay.
Every night is open mic night. Yes. If anyone wants to tell us a joke, please absolutely give a shout. You could either, just tell it from where you're sitting. You can get up on stage, or you could just give it to us. Anyway, so let's go on with the news then. Yay, the news.
Yeah. Yay. Thanks,
Welcome to the evening news. I'm your host for tonight, Catboy Kunhua, in the news. Now, this is a story that has truly been baffling me. Why is this such a big deal? Rather unbelievable stir was made last week after Prince Harry and his wife, Meghan Markle, said that they wanted to move out of the royal palace, step away from royal duties, and make out on their own. This announcement caused a literal earthquake among media coverage of the royals, to the point where I believe BBC forgot how to cover anything else. The last time I saw this much disproportionate fuss over someone moving out of their mom's place was when I told my mom I intended to move out. And if the Queen's reaction was anything like my mom, she wouldn't be so upset. She'd be cracking open champagne bottles and renting out Harry's room. Wow. By the way, finding news last week was very difficult because of that story. I found one story, only one, that was not on a channel that was not covering the Harry thing. It was this. It was, it's a Canadian story. Andrew Scheer's announcement stepping down as leader from the Conservative Party has led to a debate over how the Conservatives will appoint his replacement. Will the Conservatives have an open or closed vote? Will they hold a rally? Or will they simply appoint someone that they feel is most suited for the role, as Peter MacKay, a very popular choice, recently announced his interest in running the party? It is likely the party will settle upon a simple appointment, where you can see here in this artist's rendition of Andrew Scheer will receive the traditional booting of Parliament to make way for the next leader. Right. Also, last weekend, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced its inductees last week. It was Depeche Mode, the Doobie Brothers, Whitney Houston, 9 Inch Nails, Notorious B.I.G., and T-Rex. They offered no explanation as to why Whitney Houston qualifies for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but Pat Benatar does not. When Whitney Houston almost exclusively sang ballads and pop music, and Pat Benatar sang actual rock and roll songs. Now, despite this oversight, I would like to offer congratulations to other artists who struggled to qualify, particularly T-Rex, as it must be really difficult to play an instrument with those tiny little arms. Tiny little arms, they're so small. Also, last week, a 17-year-old high school student discovered a rare new exoplanet only 3 days into his internship at NASA. This news made daytime talk shows that invited the young man onto one TV show with Stahan, Sarah, and Kiki, who decided to award the young man with his own optical telescope. Keep in mind, this is someone who actually discovered a planet at NASA. I'm pretty sure he's covered for telescopes. You know? Giving his kid an optical telescope is like awarding the winner of Tour de France with his own brand new tricycle. I'm so happy. Also, last week, Jeopardy crowned its greatest champion of all time. Ken Jennings beat out the highest single game earnings record holder, James Holhauer, and highest all-time earnings holder, Brad Rutter in the fourth match of Jeopardy! Greatest of All Time. That happened just last week. Afterwards, Ken Jennings was allowed to drink from the skulls of his defeated enemies. And finally, last story we have, the officials of the Tokyo Olympics have announced that this year's Summer Olympics will be the most eco-friendly ever, as the medals are made from recycled electronics and the athletes will use beds that have cardboard frames. The athletes have been assured that the cardboard bed frames will not collapse under their weight even if they have sex upon them. To which they actually said that. That's in the actual announcements. To which the Olympic athletes said, "Challenge accepted." Okay, listen, Tokyo, I don't think you appreciate just how hard these people fuck. Okay, we're talking about young people who spend their lives training to the absolute peak of physical conditioning. I want to show you something. See this? This is the Montreal Olympic Village from 1976. And as you can see, this building is made of concrete, not cardboard. During the 2 weeks that the athletes stayed there, they trashed this building so thoroughly that when the Olympics were over, this building stood condemned for over 20 years until someone finally raised enough money in 1998 to fix it up and turn it into rental apartments. And you're telling me that cardboard bed frames are going to stand up to that? Yeah, okay, I'm pretty curious as to how that's going to work out on the long run. And that's the way you wish it wasn't. I'm Catboy Kunhua.
Yay!
Yay!